All right, folks. There's going to be a little bit of noise because they're doing construction outside, but I want to get this out. GM's plan to cut jobs and plants draws fire. General Motors Company plans to cut up to 14,800 jobs in the U.S. and Canada and in production at several North American factories, marking the automaker's first significant downsizing since its bankruptcy last decade as the company tries to adjust weak sedan sales. The move affects plants in Michigan, Ohio, and Canada, will reduce GM's annual cost by $4.5 billion at the end of 2020, freeing up money to invest in electric and self-driving cars. The decision, though, was called callous by the main auto workers union and prompted President Trump and Canadian President Minister Justin Trudeau each called GM Chief Executive Mary Barra to express their disappointment. Ms. Barra said she wants to act now despite a strong economy and the company's healthy earnings to help GM sustain profits through an expected downturn in the U.S. car market and keep investing in burgeoning technologies. This is what we're doing to transform the company. The industry is changing very rapidly, says Ms. Barra. We think it's appropriate to get in front of it while the business and economy are strong. President Trump has continued to press U.S. companies to create jobs at home rather than abroad. Early last year, he took aim at GM for building a version of the Chevrolet Cruze in Mexico. On Monday, Mr. Trump said he told Ms. Barra that she should stop making cars in China and open up a new plant in Ohio and replace the one that is ending production. They better damn well open up a new plant there very quickly, Mr. Trump said in an interview with the Wall Street Journal on Monday, noting that he talked to Ms. Barra Sunday night. GM says it expects to save $4.5 billion in cost by, okay. I love Ohio, Mr. Trump said. I told them, you're playing around with the wrong person. A GM spokesman confirmed a conversation took place but declined to respond directly to Mr. Trump's comments. The Detroit automaker, in a statement, defended its record of U.S. investments, saying it has spent $6.6 billion on U.S. plants over the past 4 years, creating or preserving 17,600 jobs. GM said it would cut 15% of its salaried workforce in North America, or 8,000 employees. The cuts will likely hit hard amongst engineers, designers, and others in the automaker's large product development operation, which faces an overhaul in line with the stronger focus on electric and hybrid vehicles. The reduction targets include some employees who accepted a buyout GM offered last month, though the company wouldn't say how many opted for the packages. Hopefully all of them. The company also said it would end production next year at 3 North American assembly plants and 2 smaller transmission factories, which combined employ more than 6,700 workers. Those include a factory in Lordstown, Ohio, where GM makes the Chevrolet Cruze, the Detroit Hamtramck plant in the company's hometown, where it makes Chevrolet Volt plug-in hybrid and several large sedans, and a factory in Oshawa, Ontario, a source of such models as the Chevy Impala and the Cadillac STS. Okay, there's a lot more. I'm not going to read the whole article because it's kind of long. Okay, here's some more. It says Fiat Chrysler Automobiles NV already phased out most small car and sedan lines for the U.S. Ford Motor Company intends to follow suit, ending production of several car models within the next few years, including Fusion and Taurus sedans. Ford is also restructuring its operations in the U.S. and overseas, including making deep cuts in salaried workforce. The actions are aimed at improving profitability and helping it invest in new technologies that it believes are core to its long-term survival. All right. This is something that we talked about in other videos when we talked about self-driving cars. That's where the focus is going to be. That's how come they're going to cut down the number of sedans that they make. There's a glut of sedans already. The reason that they're focusing on SUVs or trucks and vans is because those are work vehicles. Okay, those still need to be produced because workers don't take self-driving trucks or cars to a job like construction or delivery or something like that. right? Those still have to be made. But who are the people that really need cars less? Those are the average consumer. Self-driving or automated cars will take up the bulk of that, and they already know that. A lot of the restructuring that I think is going on, because I said this when I talked about Ford, is that they're going to actually start automating a lot of these plants. So they're not going to need as many workers, and they're going to get a jump on this. I told you this is going to go very, very rapidly. And self-driving cars wasn't going to just affect cab drivers and the like. It's going to affect manufacturing plants because they're going to produce less cars. Half of the cars are produced by a robot already. So since it's already produced by robots, you're just going to fill in the other 50 to 80%. So this is not new. This is something that's going to go on. Automation is here. And I told you by 2025, a lot of that stuff is already going to be complete. Like I said, 2019 is going to increase. I said 2020, hold on to your hats. Because it's 2018 and they're already announcing it. So you know what's going to happen. And when you close a plant, we have to think when you close a plant, you start making an auto line. It's not just the automakers. Okay. You're going to lose, 1,500 jobs here. Okay. In Canada. What about the suppliers that make bits and pieces for these cars? But GM and Ford and Chrysler don't make all their parts. They have suppliers that also make parts, that also make things. So if you talk about this, you might be able to multiply job losses, say from GM, Ford, and Chrysler by 3 or 4, because there's a supply chain that won't get filled. I don't know why when I record this, all of a sudden I get a lot of noise. Hopefully you can't hear too much of it and you guys can bear with me. But it's going to be a lot more severe than we think it is. Yeah, and Trump is being disingenuous. Don't believe him. He already knows what's going on because they told him that the tariffs that he's going to impose for metals and steel and other parts that need to come in from outside the United States is going to affect the production lines, and it has. So all this stuff has come together. And I do believe Trump is trying to force, as this article said, force manufacturing and force this kind of stuff back inside the country. And the only way they can do it cost effectively enough is to what? Replace those workers that are expensive for manufacturing stuff with what? Robots, automation, and other kind of technologies. It is what it is, folks. There's another article that I'm going to read that is going to pertain to something close to this. So with that, I got a siren coming. This is BGS out, and I will see you guys on the next one.